Amma walked barefoot along the narrow, dusty path that led to the old baobab tree, her schoolbook tucked under one arm and a folded piece of paper clutched tightly in her hand. The morning sun peeked over the horizon, casting long shadows across the red earth. Her village, Kim, was just beginning to stir, but this tree, this towering, ancient giant, was already awake. It had watched over generations and held the secrets of the land. For Amma, it was more than a tree, it was a friend, a silent witness to her hopes and dreams. Nestled at the base of the baobab, Amma opened her notebook, its worn pages filled with carefully written love poems. She had written one every morning for the past year, always beneath this tree. The poems were not for anyone in particular, yet they came from the deepest corners of her heart. Her words spoke of longing, of a life bigger than what surrounded her. Love, in her poems, was not just romance, it was freedom, adventure, and possibility. With her pen moving quickly, she scribbled down verses about eyes that understood, hands that offered comfort, and souls that danced in silence. The baobab's leaves rustled gently, as if nodding in approval. The air buzzed with excitement at Kim Junior High as a rumor swept through the classrooms. A new student was transferring from Accra. Most students had never even visited the capital, let alone share the classroom with someone from there. They imagined designer shoes, an accent tinged with the city's boldness, and stories of internet cafes and tall buildings. Amma, seated quietly in the corner, tried not to care. But a tiny flicker of curiosity burned in her chest. Who was this stranger entering their quiet world? When Kobe entered the room, he looked out of place. His sneakers were spotless, and his uniform didn't have the wear and tear of village life. But his eyes, dark and unsure, betrayed a different story. As the teacher introduced him, Kobe nodded respectfully and took the empty seat near the window, directly across from Amma. Their eyes met for the briefest moment, and Amma looked away, pretending to read her book. Her heart thudded with an unfamiliar rhythm. The classroom, once ordinary, now felt like the beginning of something. Kobe noticed it immediately, the silence of the village. Accra had been noise and color and speed. Here, life was slower, quieter. The roads were dusty, the houses modest, and the nights filled with crickets instead of car horns. He missed his friends, his favorite gaming spot, and the lights of the city. Yet, there was something peaceful about this place, something he couldn't name. During break, he wandered around the school compound alone. Some boys whispered about his accent, some girls giggled when he passed. But it was Amma who caught his attention. She wasn't like the others. She didn't stare or try to impress him. She seemed content in her world, always with a notebook, always sitting under the same tree during lunch. There was something mysterious about her, and Kobe felt drawn in, though he didn't understand why. Amma tried to ignore Kobe, but it was impossible. He was polite, surprisingly humble, and seemed genuinely interested in village life. One afternoon, as she scribbled beneath the baobab tree, he approached quietly. "You always write here?" he asked. Amma looked up, startled. No one had ever interrupted her here before. She nodded slowly, unsure what to say. Kobe sat beside her without asking. He didn't speak again, just stared at the tree sprawling branches. Amma felt nervous and intrigued. She tucked her notebook away. "Do you write too?" she asked, her voice soft. Kobe chuckled. "Only text messages." They laughed, and in that laughter, a connection sparked. Two different lives, beginning to intertwine under the baobab's ancient watch. The next day, Oma was in a hurry. Her little brother had spilled palm oil on her skirt, and she barely had time to wash and dry it before school. She rushed to the baobab tree, scribbled a few lines in her notebook, and ran off, forgetting the notebook entirely. Kobe, passing by after school, saw the small book tucked into the tree's roots. He hesitated. Picking it up felt like invading her privacy. But something about the way she guarded it made him want to understand her more. He opened it slowly and read. The words stunned him. They weren't just poems, they were confessions of dreams, of fears, of love. And one line caught his breath. I write so one day, someone will see me. Kobe closed the book, heart pounding. He'd seen her now, truly seen her. Oma panicked when she realized her notebook was missing. After school, she dashed to the baobab tree. It was gone. Her heart sank. Those poems were everything, her thoughts, her feelings, her soul. At home, she couldn't focus. Who had it? Would they mock her? Share it? Her world felt suddenly exposed. The next morning, Kobe slipped the notebook into her desk without a word. When she found it, her eyes filled with tears, not of sadness, but of relief. A small note was tucked inside. Your words are beautiful. Don't stop writing. K. Oma looked around the classroom, her eyes finding his. He smiled, and she smiled back, grateful and surprised. Something unspoken passed between them. Stronger than any poem. The Kim Yam festival was fast approaching. Drums echoed through the village as women weaved colorful cloth and men prepared the ceremonial grounds. The school was buzzing with preparations, dances, skits, and songs. Kobe had never experienced anything like it. He volunteered for the drama group, hoping to understand village life better. Amma was in charge of writing the script. Their paths crossed more often now, and each meeting was less awkward. Kobe admired her creativity. She respected his effort to fit in. As they practiced their roles and edited lines together, their bond deepened. The festival was more than a celebration, it was the backdrop for something quietly blooming between them. The festival day arrived with music, colors, and joy. Villagers gathered in their finest clothes, and the school performance was the highlight. Kobe and Oma took center stage, their dialogue flowing naturally, their chemistry undeniable. When the final drumbeat ended, the crowd erupted in applause. Later, as the sky turned orange, Kobe found Oma near the baobab tree. Without speaking, he extended his hand. She hesitated, then took it. They danced slowly on the dusty ground, laughter and nerves mingling. It wasn't a declaration, not yet. But it was a beginning. Beneath the baobab, something sacred was taking root. Not everyone was happy about their growing closeness. Gossip began to spread about the city boy and the village girl. Elders whispered that Oma was getting distracted. Her father noticed her smiles and grew concerned. You are not here to fall in love, he said sternly. Focus on your books. Oma felt torn. Her father had sacrificed so much for her education. But her heart pulled her toward Kobe. When she told him about her father's warning, Kobe nodded. Then let's be careful. I don't want to hurt what matters to you. His understanding made her care for him even more. They agreed to take things slow, but some things, once started, can't be stopped. One evening, a sudden storm swept through the village. Thunder cracked the sky, and rain drenched the earth. Amma rushed to the baobab tree, fearing it might be damaged. Kobe was already there, soaked, trying to protect her writing spot with his jacket. Together, they sat under the thick branches as the rain poured. "Why do you love this tree so much?" he asked. Oma smiled. "It listens. It remembers." Kobe took her hand gently. "Then let's make a memory worth keeping." In the heart of the storm, under the ancient tree, they shared their first kiss, soft, uncertain, and unforgettable. The days after the storm were filled with whispers. A few students had seen Oma and Kobe together beneath the Baobab tree, and the village grapevine wasted no time. The rumors twisted the truth, turning a quiet friendship into scandalous tales. Oma's father heard them and demanded answers. Oma stood silently, torn between truth and respect. Her heart hurt more than her words could explain. At school, she kept her distance from Kobe, afraid of adding more fuel to the gossip. Kobe noticed, of course, and though it pained him, he didn't push. Instead, he left a folded poem on her desk, a simple message: "I wait beneath the tree, when you're ready." Oma read it with trembling fingers. She wasn't sure what was right anymore, but she missed the boy with the city eyes and kind soul. That night, Oma snuck out of her room and walked to the Baobab tree. The moon was high, casting a silver glow over the land. Kobe was there, sitting quietly with his hands clasped. When he saw her, he stood, unsure. "I'm sorry," Oma said. "I was scared." Kobe nodded. "Me too." They talked for hours, about fears, dreams, and what they meant to each other. It wasn't a romantic confession, not yet. It was honest, raw, and real. They agreed to keep writing, to keep dreaming, and to hold their bond close, no matter the noise around them. The Baobab tree stood witness once again. The school's only radio broke just as exam season approached. It might not have mattered, but it had been their source of news and music during study breaks. The principal asked for volunteers to help fix it. To no one's surprise, Kobe offered. Oma joined, curious and needing the distraction. They spent afternoons in the dusty storeroom, fiddling with wires and laughing at failed attempts. With the help of an old repair manual, they finally brought the radio back to life. As music played again through the school halls, Oma and Kobe felt a shared triumph. Even small wins mattered when shared with someone special. Oma began leaving folded notes for Kobe in the hollow of the Baobab tree. At first, they were short, funny observations, comments about teachers, riddles. Then they became more personal. Kobe wrote back, matching her honesty with his own. They never spoke of the letters, but each day, they checked the hollow eagerly. One note read, "When I see you smile, the world feels quiet." Another, "I'm not from here, but with you, I feel at home." It was their secret language, hidden in plain sight, written in ink and emotion. Oma's best friend, Efua, began to notice. She had always been close to Oma, but lately, she felt distant, pushed to the side. One afternoon, she followed Oma and saw her slip a letter into the Baobab tree. The sight confirmed her suspicion. When she confronted Oma, emotion spilled. "You didn't tell me," Efua asked. "I didn't know how," Oma replied. Efua, hurt but trying to understand, warned her gently. "This could hurt you, Oma. People here don't forget things like this." Oma nodded. She knew her friend meant well. But love, once started, was hard to stop. She promised to be careful, but her heart was already in motion. A regional school debate was announced, and King Kim Junior High was invited. Kobe, with his sharp city articulation, was the obvious choice to lead. Oma, with her gift for writing, was chosen to draft the arguments. Their teamwork was seamless. As they practiced under the Baobab tree, students watched, whispering but also admiring. The two brought out the best in each other. On the day of the debate, they stood proud, their voices strong and clear. Their school didn't win, but it didn't matter. They had made their mark. For her birthday, Oma found a small wrapped box tucked in the Baobab tree's hollow. Inside was a pen, sleek and silver, with her name engraved on it. There was no note, but she didn't need one. She smiled, clutching it close. It was the most thoughtful gift she had ever received. Later that day, she thanked Kobe. He looked sheepish but happy. A writer deserves a proper pen, he said. Oma didn't reply. She simply leaned in and hugged him. No words were needed. The pen would now carry stories of something real, something growing. Oma's grandmother fell ill, and Oma began spending her evenings at the old woman's bedside. One night, her grandmother, in a moment of clarity, said, "The heart is not meant to be silenced. Child, even if it whispers, you must listen." Oma was stunned. Had she guessed the truth? She held her grandmother's hand, tears in her eyes. The old woman smiled weakly. "The Baobab tree knows many stories. Yours is just beginning." That night, Oma wrote the longest poem she'd ever penned, an ode to her grandmother, love, and the power of small beginnings. One day, Kobe received a letter from his father in Accra. It spoke of business troubles and hinted that he might be called back soon. The news left Kobe shaken. The thought of leaving King Kim, of leaving Oma, was unbearable. He didn't tell her immediately. Instead, he began cherishing every moment, her laugh, her words, their shared silences. But Oma sensed something. "You're pulling away," she said softly one afternoon. Kobe looked away. He wanted to lie, but his eyes betrayed him. Oma knew. Then, something was coming, something neither of them could stop. Kobe finally told Oma, "My father wants me back in Accra." Oma stood still, as if the wind had knocked the air from her lungs. "When?" "Soon. Maybe a week." They sat beneath the Baobab tree, both silent. Kobe reached for her hand. "I don't want to go," he whispered. "Then don't forget me," she said. "No matter where you go, carry our story." They didn't kiss. They didn't cry. They just held hands, listening to the wind rustling the baobab leaves above them. The tree, ancient and knowing, swayed gently, as if to say, "Some love stories aren't finished. They're just paused." Kobe left King Kim just as the rains returned. The village seemed quieter without him, and the baobab tree felt lonelier. Oma found herself sitting beneath it, writing more than ever. Her poems became letters, and she mailed them to Kobe in Accra. Each envelope carried her thoughts, fears, and dreams. Weeks passed. Then came a reply. A letter in Kobe's unmistakable handwriting arrived at Oma's doorstep. Inside was a drawing of the baobab tree and a single line, "Home is wherever you are." Oma wept. It wasn't sadness. It was love, reaching across miles. Before Kobe left, he had carved their initials into the baobab tree's bark, K+A. Oma had found it. Days later, she touched the letters gently, as if afraid they'd vanish. The carving became a sacred mark. No one else noticed it, but to her, it was a promise. She started taking care of the tree more, clearing weeds, watering its base, even talking to it. Villagers began calling her the tree girl, but she didn't mind. That tree held her memories, and in a way, her heart. Kobe, in Accra, struggled to adjust. The city noise felt louder, the people more rushed. His father expected him to take over the family business, but Kobe's heart was still in the village. He often escaped to the beach, where he would write songs inspired by Omo's poems. One day, he visited a music studio with a friend. The producer, impressed by Kobe's lyrics, asked for more. A door had opened. Kobe thought of Oma and smiled. If he could make this work, maybe he could return, not just with love, but with purpose. Back in Kim, preparations began for the annual Harvest Festival. Oma was chosen to lead the poetry performance. Her theme, The Heart Remembers. She poured everything into it, her love, her longing, her hope. On the night of the festival, her words echoed through the village square. People listened, moved by the beauty of her voice and the truth in her verses. Afterward, elders approached her. "You speak like one touched by love," one said. Oma nodded. She didn't need to explain. The Baobab tree stood behind her, tall and proud. Oma was fetching water when her phone rang. It was a number she didn't recognize. She answered hesitantly. "Oma." Kobe's voice. It was deeper, calmer. "I'm coming back," he said. She froze. "Why?" "Because I found a way. I want to record an album in the village, with you, with our stories. Will you help me?" Oma said nothing at first. Then she whispered, "Yes." The water in her bucket slushed as she turned toward the baobab tree, her heart pounding. Kobe returned with a guitar on his back and a fire in his heart. The village buzzed with curiosity. "The Accra boy is back," they said. Oma ran to the baobab tree and waited. He came. No dramatic hugs, just two people staring at each other with wide eyes and bigger smiles. Then, finally, she stepped forward, and they embraced. "I missed you," she said. "I wrote a song for you," he replied. They sat beneath the baobab tree, her head on his shoulder. The world faded around them. Home wasn't just a place. It was a feeling. With no formal studio, they created one under the stars. Kobe's friend brought recording equipment from Accra. They set up in Oma's uncle's shed. Chickens clucked in the background, crickets chirped nearby. It was far from perfect, but it was real. Oma wrote lyrics, and Kobe sang. They mixed their voices with village sounds, drums, footsteps, the rustle of leaves. Their love became music, and music became their language. People gathered to watch. Children danced. Elders hummed along. The baobab tree, ever silent, seemed to sway in rhythm. Not everyone was happy. Some villagers whispered that Kobe had no business bringing city noise to their traditions. Others warned Oma's father. "He'll leave again," they said. Oma's father confronted her. "You think this boy will stay?" "He came back," Oma replied. "He came back for me." Her father frowned, but didn't forbid her. "Just remember, dreams can fade. And so can love." Oma didn't answer. But her heart believed otherwise. The baobab tree had waited this long. So, would she? Kobe released their first song online, Beneath the Baobab. Within days, it spread. Radio stations played it. Local newspapers wrote about it. A love song, rooted in tradition, rising from a tiny village. Offers came in. Studio requests. Interviews. Kobe declined most of them. This is where I want to be, he told Omar. They held a small lunch party near the Baobab tree. Lanterns lit up the night. Music played. And when Kobe sang, Omar joined him. 2 voices, 1 heart. With the song's success, Kobe decided to stay for good. He started a music program at the school, using part of his earnings to buy instruments. Omar began teaching creative writing. They weren't rich, but they were full of hope, of purpose, of love. The village slowly accepted their dream, realizing it wasn't noise, but a new rhythm. And each evening, they sat beneath the baobab tree, sometimes in silence, sometimes in song. It was there that love had grown, and there it would remain. Though success had started to bloom, Omar sometimes doubted herself. What if the world outside the village forgot about their song? What if Kobe eventually longed for city lights again? One evening, she sat beneath the baobab tree alone. The wind rustled the leaves gently, almost whispering to her. She opened her notebook and wrote, "Even in love, the heart trembles." Later, Kobe found her and placed his hand over hers. "You think too much," he said with a grin. "And I love that about you." Her fears didn't vanish, but they softened in his warmth. Omar's grandmother, Nana Efua, came to visit from a nearby town. She had once been a storyteller known for her wisdom and wit. Sitting by the fire, she listened to Kobe's songs and nodded. "Young love burns bright," she said. "But will you keep the fire alive when the wind comes?" Omar and Kobe exchanged glances. Nana Efua took Omar's hand. "Hold your dreams tight, but don't lose yourself in them. And remember, baobab trees stand because their roots run deep." A sudden downpour scattered villagers one afternoon, but Omar and Kobe ran through the rain. Laughing, they took shelter beneath the baobab tree, soaked and breathless. There, they composed a new song, "Rain on Roots." They recorded it with the sound of droplets hitting tin roofs and the gentle rumble of thunder. It was raw, beautiful, and deeply African. The song became even more popular than the first. People connected with its authenticity, and offers came from African music festivals. An email came from a big festival in Lagos. They were invited to perform. Kobe was thrilled. Omar hesitated. "Lagos is far," she said. "But our music is spreading," he replied. "Let's take our love to the world." After long talks with her father and Nana Efua, Omar agreed. "Only if we come back," she said. Kobe kissed her forehead. "Always." Lagos was everything Omar had imagined, loud, fast, bright. But when she stepped on stage, her fear melted. With Kobe beside her, they sang to thousands. Their music moved the crowd. People clapped, cried, danced. Omar's voice carried stories of the village, of the baobab tree, of love found beneath its shade. That night, they were offered a record deal. But the contract required them to move to the city permanently. Kobe looked at Omar. "What do you want?" Back at the hotel, Omar stared at the ceiling. "I want our voices to travel. But not if it means losing where we began." They met the producers the next day. "We'll accept, if we can split our time between here and our village," Kobe said. To their surprise, the producers agreed. "Authenticity is your power," they said. It was a win. Omar and Kobe would keep their roots while reaching higher. With part of their earnings, Omar and Kobe opened a small music and poetry school in Kinkim. Children came daily to learn drums, storytelling, and songwriting. The baobab tree stood nearby, a constant reminder of where it all began. They named the school Baobab Voices. Parents were skeptical at first, But when they saw their children's joy, they came around. Art had found a new home in the village. One warm night, Kobe led Oma to the Baobab tree. Lanterns hung from its branches, and a soft melody played from a nearby speaker. I came here a stranger, he said, but this place, and you, gave me everything. He knelt. Will you marry me? Oma, tearful and smiling, said, yes. The tree rustled as if to clap. The entire village joined in preparations. Drums were rehearsed, Kent cloth woven, and palm wine brewed. Nana Efua guided the young women in traditional wedding chants. Oma and Kobe wanted a simple ceremony beneath the Baobab tree. Let the roots bless us, Oma said. On the eve of the wedding, she wrote a final poem in her notebook. Love is not loud, but lasting. The wedding day arrived. Drummers led the procession, elders gave blessings, and children scattered petals. Oma wore a golden Kent gown, Kobe a white tunic with gold trim. They stood beneath the Baobab tree, hands entwined. Vows were exchanged, poems read, and songs sung. When Kobe kissed Oma, the village cheered. It wasn't just a wedding, it was a celebration of dreams, love, and the courage to believe. Married life brought a new rhythm to Oma and Kobe's world. They moved into a small clay brick home near the Baobab tree. Every morning, birds sang their own tunes, inspiring Kobe's melodies and Oma's poems. One morning, Oma woke up humming a melody she dreamt of. Kobe joined her, creating lyrics on the spot. That song, Dawn Over Hinkim, became a village favorite, played at dawn on local radio stations. Their love blossomed further, but with the joy came challenges. Fame still called from the cities, but their hearts remained grounded. A renowned critic from Accra visited the village unannounced. She sat silently through a community concert, scribbling notes. Afterward, she approached Oma and Kobe. You sing with truth, she said. But don't let simplicity become stagnation. Her words stuck with them. Was their style becoming repetitive? Or was it simply that their music didn't follow trends? That night, Oma sat by the Baobab tree, questioning her path. Kobe joined her and said, truth doesn't age. We'll evolve, but on our terms. Oma started mentoring girls in the village, encouraging them to write poetry about their lives. Some wrote about broken homes, others about dreams of education and freedom. One girl, Ya, showed great promise. Her words were sharp and raw. Oma helped her refine them. And soon Ya performed at a school event. The crowd wept at her honesty. Kobe watched proudly. You're changing lives, he told Oma. Inspired by their success, Oma and Kobe organized the Festival of Roots, a 3-day celebration of music, poetry, food, and tradition in Kinkim. Artists from all over Ghana came to perform beneath the Baobab. Ya opened the event with a heartfelt poem. Drums echoed, feet danced, and the village swelled with pride. One day, Kobe received a message from his estranged father. He wanted to meet Oma encouraged him to go. Closure matters, she said. In Accra, the meeting was tense. Kobe's father had softened, but regret filled his eyes. You became a man without me, he said. They talked for hours. Back home, Kobe said, I forgave him. Not for him, but for peace in me. One quiet evening, Oma held Kobe's hand and whispered, we are going to have a baby. Tears filled his eyes. Our love has grown roots, he said. The village rejoiced at the news. Nana Efua wept openly. Another storyteller is on the way. Oma's writing grew more personal. Each word now carried the weight of motherhood and hope. Amma began writing lullabies. Kobe composed soft tunes to accompany them. Together, they created an album titled Womb Songs. The songs were played in clinics and maternity wards. Many mothers said they felt more connected to their babies. Amma also wrote letters to her unborn child, placing them in a box beneath the baobab. So they'll always know where they began, she said. In her 7th month, Amma had complications. She was rushed to a hospital in Kumasi. Kobe stayed by her side, praying, singing, hoping. For days, the village waited. Then news came, Amma and the baby were safe. The village celebrated. She's strong, Kobe said. Like the baobab. Amma returned home weaker but more determined than ever. Under a clear night sky, Amma gave birth to a boy. They named him Kwaku Baobab. The baby had bright eyes and a calm spirit. He carries our love and our roots, Amma whispered. Villagers came with gifts, goats, yams, and cloth. The baobab tree was decorated with flowers. Drums played long into the night. Kwaku grew fast. Amma continued her tradition, writing him letters and songs. Kobe built a small bench beneath the baobab tree. There, the family would sit each evening. They spoke of dreams, hopes, and the power of love. Amma once wrote, even if the world forgets our names, the tree will remember. Together, beneath its shade, they lived, loved, and created a legacy. As Kwaku took his first steps, Amma noticed how he always toddled toward the baobab tree. He's drawn to it, Kobe said. Nana Efra smiled, his soul remembers. They began sharing stories with Kwaku under the tree, of love, songs, strength, and sacrifice. He would giggle and point at the sky as if he understood. One evening, Amma whispered, this tree is not just a place. It's our beginning, our anchor. With the success of their music and the Festival of Roots, journalists came calling. One even proposed a documentary. Amma was hesitant. Will they twist our truth? Kobe said, we'll tell our story our way. They agreed only if the filming would include the village and honor its traditions. When the crew arrived, they were awed by Nkin Kim's warmth. One night, Amma dreamt of the baobab talking to her. Its voice was deep and warm. You have rooted many, it said. But remember to water yourself too. She woke with new resolve. She began writing again, her personal poems, dreams, doubts, and hopes. She called the collection Baobab Dreams. Nana Efua fell ill. The village grew quiet as her condition worsened. Amma and Kobe visited daily. Nana whispered, you've made me proud. Tell stories always. Teach the little ones. A week later, the village matriarch passed. Her funeral was filled with song and poetry. They planted a young baobab sapling beside her grave. Amma began teaching storytelling classes to children. They acted out folktales, wrote their own endings, and performed beneath the tree. Kwaku joined too, often mixing stories and songs. His favorite tale: how the baobab got its voice. One child asked, can trees really talk? Amma smiled, only if you listen with love. An international poetry festival invited Amma to share her work. It was in South Africa. Nervous but honored, she accepted. The journey was long, but when she stood on that stage, reading beneath the shadow of another ancient tree, her voice didn't shake. She recited, Love beneath the baobab tree. The crowd stood in ovation. After Amma's performance, travelers began visiting King Kim. They wanted to see the baobab, hear the songs, meet the couple whose love bloomed there. The village opened a cultural center. Ya became its director, curating poems, songs, and history. "We are not forgotten anymore," she said. Kwaku, now 10, composed his first song. It was simple, soft, and spoke of stars and trees. Amma and Kobe listened, stunned. "It's in him," Kobe whispered. They helped him record it. When it aired on the local station, people called in with tears. A new voice had been born. Amma and Kobe published a joint memoir titled Roots Beneath Us. It became required reading in schools across Ghana. Children from other villages began visiting Nkinkim, writing under the baobab, dreaming under its leaves. Kwaku now helped guide them. "This tree is magic," he'd say, smiling. Years later, gray-haired but still in love, Amma and Kobe sat on their bench under the baobab. The village bustled with art, music, laughter. Kwaku prepared for university abroad. "I'll come back," he promised. "My roots are here." As the sun set, Amma rested her head on Kobe's shoulder. "Love, money, happiness, we found it. All beneath this tree." And the baobab swayed gently, as if to say, "I remember."